Jai Sachidanand friends. Today we are going to be talking about how me and my family will remain healthy during this corona pandemic. Before continuing with this video, I would invite your attention to look at the legal disclaimer given in the beginning of this video. Okay? All right. I am not a doctor. I am not a yoga expert, naturopath. I am a pure Tattva Chintak or a philosopher. And I am trying to understand this corona pandemic from the perspective of Tattva, from the perspective of elements, from the perspective of philosophy. And for all you know, we may be able to find some answers when we start looking deep at the level of Tattva or at the level of philosophy. Before starting this conversation, let me tell you a small story. And you would see the relevance of these stories when we will be discussing about the protocols to remain healthy during corona pandemic. In a mountain range, there was a small village. The village was neither at the top of the mountain nor in the plains or in the valley of the mountains. The village was somewhere in the middle of the mountain. Every monsoon, when there would be rains, the river would flow from above the mountain, will cut across the village and go down into the plains. So in the monsoon, there would be heavy flooding. The river would get heavily flooded, causing a lot of damage to the properties and lives in that particular village, since it was at the middle of the mountain. And once the monsoons were all over, the water would have gone down in the plains, so there would be shortage of water. Very funny situation. One day, one wise man came to this village and said that exactly after 4 months, there will be a very heavy flood in this river and the whole village will be destroyed. The villagers started thinking what to do. Some said, let's leave this village, leave all our properties, all our belongings here and go down in the plains where we would be safer. But then some people said, what if there is some problem that may come in future when we are living in the plains? So then we will again leave that place and go somewhere else. And if a problem comes in the new place, again leave it and go to some other place. Is that the solution? Friends, running away from the problems could never be a solution. Solving the problem is the real solution. So the villagers said, no, let's try and solve this. So they all thought and then they came up with this plan. They said we would make a huge dam and an adjoining sarovar, an adjoining water reservoir, where during the monsoon, when there would be very heavy water flow, the water would first go in that water reservoir, in that sarovar, in that pond. And after that, once the excess water is accumulated, we will open the gates of the dam and we will make a special road for the water to go down in the plains. 4 months they worked very hard and they constructed a huge dam, a very big water reservoir and a safe path for the water to flow through the river, through the village into the plains. The monsoon came, the river started flowing, but this time they were prepared. The water would first go in that reservoir, and whenever the excess water would get accumulated, they'll open the doors of the dam and the water would flow through the safe path down into the plains. Even during heavy rains, the villagers were very safe because adequate preparations were done. They were waiting for that big flood to come, but nothing happened. And that entire year passed peacefully. But the advantage that happened was, once the monsoons got over, they still had lot of water in that water reservoir, where enough water was there for them to cultivate the agriculture. So this year, they were able to do excellent agricultural crops. And everyone got lot of money by selling the agricultural products. Next year, again the monsoon came. Same thing, the water would come, get accumulated in the water reservoir, and when it would start to overflow, they would open the gates of the dam. Through the safe passage, the water would go down in the plains. And one day, without any warning, massive flood came through the river. But again, the villagers were very, very prepared. The water came, heavy water came in the water reservoir. When it got full, they opened the doors. The water through the safe passage went from the plains. Even a huge flooding in the river did not damage the village at all. After a few days, after a few months, the Gnani came. And the villagers said, Gnani, wise man, you had told last year that there would be huge flooding in the river. But nothing happened. And this year also, the flood came, but nothing happened. So what were you actually trying to do? The wise man said, before I tell you anything, let me first tell you, you all look very smart. You all are very nicely dressed now. Your houses have become very good. Your children are going into good schools. How did this happen? So the villagers said, because of the water that we were accumulating in the water reservoir, we had enough water for our agricultural crops. The wise man said, that is exactly what I was trying to do. I was trying to give you a permanent solution to the problems. Friends, do you understand this story? Do we learn something from this story? If we are prepared, then let any pandemic come. Today it is coronavirus which is come. Tomorrow there could be Chhagan Bhai virus that can come. Day after tomorrow it can be Magan Bhai virus that can come. These are just the examples. Please, if anyone's name is Chhagan Bhai or Magan Bhai, please don't think that I am saying anything against them. It is just a simile. So tomorrow let any virus come. If we are prepared, nothing can damage us. And that is where my theory about corona and the protocols start. Friends, in order to understand corona better, we also have to understand the theory of survival. What does the theory of survival primarily say? Theory of survival says that once the environment is conducive for the organism, then the organisms come into that environment, stay and make their colonies. Which means if our body is conducive for coronavirus, only then the coronavirus would come in our body, stay in our body, and then make its colonies. So, if we can have some protocols whereby our body is no more conducive for any virus or any infection, then the virus cannot come in. And even if the virus comes in, it cannot spread, it cannot make its colonies. This is simple theory of survival. Philosophically, if we have to understand corona, we have to understand this. That means the entire focus that we have, which is outward towards corona, can we change our entire focus to making our bodies less or non-conducive for any infections or any viruses? Please think it over. Are you understanding what I am trying to tell you? Please think. So all our efforts should be to make ourselves non-conducive for any external infection, any viruses, any coronaviruses to come and make colonies within us. Are we clear on this? These days there is a lot of debate in the news channels about the third wave of corona. Maybe after that there would be debate on fourth wave of corona. Whether it would come at all. And then there is also a lot of discussion that this time children will be affected due to this third wave or something. Can we now understand this also at a tattva level, at a level of philosophy? The way we adapt or we change ourselves in the changing environment, even the viruses will make all its attempt to adapt or to change to the new environment, isn't it? Taking the example of the same village that we were talking about, for some reason the glacier on the mountain vanished or the monsoon reduced and that river stopped flowing in the village, and then now there is no water in the village. Now people have to take decision. There is no water in the village. The water cannot be fetched and again brought all the way upstairs. So now people have to take a decision. Do we stay in the village or go into the area somewhere down in the plains where there is water? Now they are used to living in that cold environment of mountains, that cool environment of mountains. Going in the plains, meaning they will have to live in a warmer environment. Now they will have to take a decision. What's something that they will be able to adjust? Will they be able to adjust to no water situation, or will they be able to adjust to the warmer environmental situations? So they may say, it's okay, even if we have to stay in a warmer environment, we'll stay, but without water we may not survive. So they come down to the plains, and in few days, few months, their bodies get used to, or their bodies adjust to the warmer environment. Friends, this entire process of adjustments, this entire process of adjusting to the environment, I believe the scientists could be calling it as mutation. When the coronavirus came in the beginning, it was mainly affecting people who were aged, who were far aged, with problems of blood pressure or diabetes, with those comorbidities. Now we started vaccinating them. So their bodies became less conducive for coronavirus to make their colonies. So it shifted down. It shifted to the younger population. 45 to 60. We then started vaccinating even people in the age bracket of 45 to 60. So even those people became less conducive for the virus to make their colonies. So it will now go to the younger generations. Slowly, the virus will adjust to the newer environments which will be conducive for them to live. Which means the virus would mutate. That's the process of mutation. And it is said, the doctors and the scientists say, that whenever 70% of the earth population will either be vaccinated or either would have gone through this pandemic or build immunity against the virus, which is called the herd immunity, the pandemic may continue. Once it crosses 70% and the herd immunity is developed, then the pandemic starts to fade away. Do we understand this? So, instead of now spending and wrecking our brain on all this, can we not do something whereby we make ourselves and our family, our kids, our elderlies less conducive or not conducive for coronavirus to come in and to spread and make colonies within our body? That's the protocol that I am going to be speaking about today. So have we understood corona pandemic at a philosophical, at the tattva level? If yes, then we can move ahead discussing the protocols that I want to present to you. Shall we move ahead? Okay. These protocols that I am going to be talking about is inspired from our Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma means eternal. Something which was valid 10,000 years back, something which is valid today, and something which will be valid even after 10,000 years. So all our health protocols also should be such that you can be benefited and you can use these health protocols before you are struck by the disease. It should be valid, it should be useful even while you are in the disease, and it should be valid, it should be helpful, it should be useful even after you are out of the disease. I have been asking a lot of questions to this medical fraternity. Do we have a protocol which is Sanatan, which is eternal? Can you take a typhoid medicine before you are diseased with typhoid? No. Can you take typhoid medicines while you are suffering from typhoid? Yes. Will you be able to take typhoid medicines after you are recovered from typhoid? No. Then are these protocols, are these health procedures, health protocols, Sanatan, eternal? The protocols that I am going to be talking about are basically developed by our Rishi Munis. These are not my protocols. Please let me make it very, very clear. These are not my protocols. These protocols are developed by our Rishi Munis and it's available in our ancient scriptures. These health protocols are and can be used eternally. Even before the disease, even while you are in the disease, and even post the disease. Something that will make your body non-conducive or less conducive for any infection or any disease to come and hit you, or any infection to make colonies inside your body. These protocols can be seen into our ancient scriptures like Mudra Vignan, Abhyang Vignan, Sujog Vignan, Ahar Vignan, etc., which are written by our Rishi Munis. So friends, these protocols are not mine. These are protocols developed by our Rishi Munis into various sciences, Mudra science, Abhyang science, Ahar science, Sujog science, etc., etc. And I have just picked it up from there. Okay? Are we all ready to listen to these protocols with the open mind? Friends, I am not saying that please do whatever I am telling you to do. Not at all. All I want you to do is just listen to this with open mind. And at the end of it, if you think, no, this does not appeal me, then just throw this in dustbin. Throw whatever I have said in dustbin. But just listen to this with open mind. That's all that I am requesting you to do. So shall we move ahead with the 7 protocols that I want to discuss with you to remain healthy during this corona pandemic? Only if you are convinced, see the video further. Otherwise, you can just switch off this video and there is nothing that I may want to force you to watch it. The first protocol is Amla, known as gooseberry. Amlas are extremely rich source of vitamin C. Vitamin C is very heat sensitive. That's why if you see, in our kitchen, we use lemon after the dish is prepared. So if you are making bataka poha, we don't add lemon while it's being cooked. After it's been cooked, we switch off the gas, the flame, and then we add lemon, because vitamin C is very heat sensitive. Amla is the only one product which can be consumed in any form and you will still get the benefits. The vitamin C evaporation in Amla is bare minimum. So you can have Amla in any form: raw Amla, juice form, powder form, pickle form, murabba form. And the kids love Amla candy, sweet Amla candy. Have one Amla, one gooseberry a day. It's a very rich source of vitamin. In fact, as compared to oranges, Amla has 20 times more vitamin C than oranges. And vitamin C is extremely good source for your immunity. So the first protocol is Amla. The second protocol is something for zinc, because even zinc is extremely good to build your immunity. Dal, the lentil soup, I believe that's what it's called in English, is extremely good source of zinc. Have one full bowl of dal every day. The naturopaths always recommend, and I am not a naturopath, that you should have rotating dal every day. By and large, moong dal and masoor dal are considered as very safe dals to consume for anyone. So one bowl of dal, and make dal very tasty, so your kids would love it. So one big bowl of dal for zinc is the second protocol that would be good for us. The third protocol is Brahmari Pranayam. Lot of research has happened, and it is said that when you do Brahmari Pranayam, there is lot of nitrous oxide that gets generated and that gets accumulated in our lungs. Nitrous oxide has antiviral properties. So when you do Brahmari Pranayam, your lungs are filled with lot of nitrous oxide, and nitrous oxide being antiviral stops or prevents the virus to spread inside the lungs. So how do we do Brahmari Pranayam? It's very simple. You close both your ears tightly, not very tightly, gently, but nice way you shut your ears. Take a deep breath in, shut your mouth, and doing the humming sound like honeybee, exhale through your nose. So I'll just demonstrate it to you how to do Brahmari Pranayam. Five rounds of Brahmari Pranayam in the morning, 5 rounds of Brahmari Pranayam in the night, and during the day, couple of times, 2-3 times a day, whenever you have time. It is recommended not to do any pranayam within 2 hours of meals. So Brahmari Pranayam, 5 rounds in the morning, 5 rounds in the night is the third protocol that we can put up. The fourth protocol is Sujok. It is said that this point, this protruded part, this part, has lot of points which are very useful for coronavirus, for combating coronavirus. So all you do is, like this, you give acupressure on these points in both the hands. The pressure should not be so hard that the person starts to scream or he starts to hurt himself. No, it should be nice but should not be extremely hurting. Firm but not hurting. 5 minutes of Sujok acupressure on this part in the morning and 5 minutes in the night. That was our fourth protocol. The fifth protocol is edible coconut oil. Every time you go outside of your house, apply edible coconut oil on all the exposed parts of your body. On your head, all exposed parts, and a drop just on the outer layers of your nostrils, just like that. It is believed that edible coconut oil has lauric acid, and lauric acid has antiviral properties. It is believed that when the virus comes in contact with the coconut oil, the lauric acid destroys the envelope of the virus, and hence the potency of the virus is significantly reduced. So that was our fifth protocol, application of edible coconut oil all over our exposed parts, head, all exposed parts of the body, and outer layer of our nostrils. The sixth and my most favorite protocol is Prana Mudra. But before we talk about mudras, let me just briefly tell you about the basis of mudra science. It is believed and it's said that our body is made up of 5 elements: fire, Agni; Vayu, air; Akash, space; earth, matter; water, Jad. And all these elements are in each of our fingers. So when any element comes in contact with the tip of the thumb, that element starts to balance. So when we do this, the Vayu is balanced, Akash is balanced, Prithvi is balanced, Jad, water, is balanced. Prana Mudra is considered as a mudra to boost our immunity tremendously. Let's see how Prana Mudra works. To do Prana Mudra, touch the tip of your thumb to the tip of your little finger, to the tip of your little finger and ring finger. Remaining 2 fingers to remain straight, like this. It is believed that immunity is given to the body by Ojas, and Ojas is the factor of Kapha, and the fuel for Ojas is Tejas, and Tejas is the factor of Pitta in the body. Now again, going back to the 5 elements, Ayurveda says that the human body is primarily made up of 3 humors: Vata, Pitta and Kapha. So Vayu and Akash makes Vata humor. Prithvi and Jad put together makes Kapha humor. And Agni and Jad makes Pitta humor. So when you do Prana Mudra, your Kapha humor and your Pitta humor gets balanced, which means your Tejas and Ojas gets balanced. And when your Tejas and Ojas is balanced, your immunity increases tremendously. So during the day, whenever you are free, whenever your hands are free, if both your hands are free, excellent, do it with both the hands. But if one hand is occupied, even with neither hand, you can do Prana Mudra. You can do Prana Mudra in any position. You can do it while watching TV, even while watching this video. Please form the Prana Mudra and sit. So rest of the video you can see watching Prana Mudra. While you are watching television, watching videos, you are in Zoom meeting, you are traveling, you are talking, whenever your hands are free, sit in Prana Mudra. It is recommended not to do any mudras within 30 minutes of meals. Okay? So maximum Prana Mudra during the day to keep ourselves healthy during Corona pandemic. And something that is very interesting, which I have been talking last 1 year, is a small investment of 20-30 rupees like this. This is multi-pore medical paper tape. While you sleep in the night, what you do is just tape over Pran Mudra. Like this. It's extremely simple. Only use multi-pore medical paper tape. Don't use plastic tape. Don't use the tape that is used for electrical wires. No. Or morphing tapes used for drawings that can cause lot of irritation and skin issues. Only multi-pore medical paper tape like this. The price is about 20-30 rupees and one spool lasts me for about a week. So that was our 6th protocol, which is Pran Mudra and taping this Pran Mudra in the night and sleep. I will tell you, initial 3-4 days you may have little khich, you may have little bit of uneasiness because your body is not used to this. But just do it for 2-3 days and then you will get used to it and you will be able to sleep through the night with this Pran Mudra taped. And in the morning when you get up, just take off this paper and throw it. In addition to increasing your immunity, Pran Mudra also improves the quality of your sleep. I have been doing, and my family and my friends have been doing it past 15 months, 1 year plus, every single night. And the quality of our sleep has improved tremendously. We sleep like small babies, very deep sleep. So, Pran Mudra before you sleep, just tape it and sleep through the night, and in the morning just throw this paper tape. Okay? That was the 6th protocol. And the 7th protocol is prayer to live in harmony. If I have no intentions to hurt you, as the echo of my intentions, you will also not have any intentions to hurt me. It's the law of nature, law of attraction. If I have intentions to hurt you, only then you will also have intentions to hurt me. So why can't we all live in harmony? Why can't even we live in harmony with coronavirus? Let coronavirus also live in environment, in universe. We don't harm coronavirus, coronavirus doesn't harm us. So prayer for that. Whichever God you believe in, Krishna, Jesus, Allah, whichever God, just say this prayer. I believe in Dada Bhagwan, so I say it like this. Hey Dada Bhagwan, hey Shuddhatma residing within each coronavirus, if I have hurt you in past, please forgive me. I have no intentions to hurt you in future. I have no intentions to hurt anybody in future. I want all of us to live in harmony. Hey Shuddhatma living within the coronavirus, you also live in peace and harmony in this environment, in this universe, and allow me also to live in this environment in peace and in harmony. I have no intentions of harming you. You also don't harm me. I live in peace. You live in peace. Please teach these prayers to everyone in your house. Let there be no intention to harm anybody in this universe. Okay friends, So these were the 7 protocols that I had developed from our Sanatan Dharma, from our ancient scriptures written by Rishi Munis. Please try and see if you would like to implement these protocols in your day-to-day life and be healthy for any pandemic to come, any wave of the pandemic to come, 3rd wave, 4th wave, 5th wave, whichever way, coronavirus, Magan Bhai, Chagan Bhai, whichever. I am not against any modern medical system. You want to follow any modern medical system, feel free. Follow all government guidelines, all medical guidelines, but try and also introduce these 7 protocols in your day-to-day life and build your immunity from within. Make your body non-conducive for any infection to make colonies within you. Consult your doctor before implementing any suggestions given in this video. I am praying to the God that everyone who is watching this video remain healthy, remain peaceful. Sarve sukhina bhavatu, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu. Let everyone be happy, peaceful and healthy. Thank you so much for watching this video. Jai Satchidanand.